Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. It is another Premier League prediction show that is fast upon us because we've got some midweek games to contend with this week. Of course, a bit of a change from the norm, but we are entering the busy Christmas to New Year to winter period of the season where their games are coming thick and fast. So we have some midweek games to talk about this week. Some huge games at that, at both ends of the table and of course throughout the entirety of it as well. Massive games, a derby in there as well that we need to talk about. But before we get into any kind of analysis or predictions, I would like to remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you're new. Both things are always and very greatly appreciated. But for now, let's get into the predictions. We're going to kick this list off with a bottom of the table clash that we'll see Newcastle host Norwich at St James's Park. Newcastle, of course, is still going in search of their first win of the season, following their latest result, which was a 2-0 defeat to Arsenal on Saturday, whilst Norwich drew 0-0 with Wolves last weekend. It's a huge game, this one. We may be in, obviously, very late November, early December, but both sides really need to get points on the board, of course. Both sides bottom of the table. Newcastle rock bottom, just a place above them is Norwich. Need to get points on the board, need to start separating themselves and getting themselves into a better position to fight relegation. This could be a big relegation six-pointer, even at this early stage of the season. The Magpies have huge games coming up as the busy winter period rolls in. So this would be a very good start if they can get 3 points here. But it's going to be difficult. This game could go any which way. But I think that Newcastle may pick up their first win of the season here. And that's why I'm going for a 2-1 win to Newcastle. Also Tuesday night, Ellen Road will be playing host to Leeds versus Crystal Palace. Leeds enjoyed a goalless draw last time out with Brighton Saturday night, whilst Palace were beaten 2-1 by Aston Villa also on Saturday. It's an interesting game, this one. As I've said on multiple occasions this season, Leeds have been pretty underwhelming this season. They've been hit with a number of injuries, of course, but the goals have dried up, the performances have died off a little bit, whilst Palace have been difficult to beat this season. Started life under Patrick Vieira really well, but we're hit with a pretty big reality check this past weekend when they were beaten by Aston Villa, of course. Palace, being draw specialists, could see this game end in yet another draw, but I think I'm actually leaning more towards Palace, and I think I'm going to give them the edge in this game. Although I'm not pretty confident on this prediction, I'm going to go for a 2-1 Palace win. Next, we move on to Wednesday's games, and first up, we've got a clash at St Mary's as Southampton host Leicester. The Saints lost 4-0 to Liverpool last time out, whilst Leicester beat Watford on Sunday as the Foxes beat the Hornets 4-2. Another interesting game in store for us here. Southampton go into this game off the back of back-to-back defeats, whilst Leicester are again another side who have been pretty underwhelming and underperforming this season so far. Again, that's a phrase that I've used time and time again so far during this campaign, but it still rings true. Whether that game on Sunday, the victory against Watford, will be a turning point for them, I'm not so sure. On paper, Leicester should be winning this game, of course, but as we've seen so far this season, this result can go any which way, particularly when there's a game that consists of Leicester and Southampton. I want to say a draw. I want to say this will end in a draw, but I think I'm going to just give Leicester the edge and say 2-1 to the Foxes. Next up, the Hornets clash with the Blues at Vicarage Road as Watford take on Chelsea. Watford lost 4-2 to Leicester last time out, whilst Chelsea remain top of the table despite a bit of a stutter when they drew 1-1 with Manchester United on Sunday. On paper, this should be a favourable tie for Chelsea, of course. This should be a favourable fixture in which they should be winning this game and therefore be one of the more fairly predictable results to call in this round of Premier League fixtures. However, as we know, games aren't won on paper, and Watford shouldn't be completely ignored before casting your predictions. But of course, the safe money is on Chelsea. Claudio Ranieri returns to face his former club. Chelsea will of course be wanting to rectify that draw that they had against Manchester United on Sunday. I think Watford may be the wrong team in the wrong place for the Blues, and that's why my prediction lies with a 3-0 Chelsea victory. Next up, we're at the London Stadium as West Ham take on Brighton. The Hammers were beaten 2-1 by Manchester City last time out to make it back-to-back defeats for them in the past couple of games, whilst Brighton endured an extremely exciting 0-0 draw with Leeds last weekend. Another interesting and intriguing game ahead in this one between West Ham, who have been flying high this season but have stuttered a bit in the past couple of weeks, and a Brighton side who got out the traps very early on in the season but have fallen off in recent weeks and were even booed off in their last game, which of course was that 0-0 draw with Leeds. The Seagulls have not won in their last 8 games. West Ham, of course, haven't won in their past 2. I can see West Ham winning this one, but I'm going to lean more towards a draw. West Ham victory wouldn't surprise me, but I'm going to lean more towards a draw, and that's why I'm going to predict a 2-2 draw. Our next game, we are at Molineux for Wolves taking on Burnley. Wolves drew 0-0 with Norwich last time out, whilst Burnley won't have been in action for the past 11 days come this fixture, as their last game against Tottenham was supposed to take place on Sunday, but of course was postponed due to the snowy, weathery conditions. It's a big game for this one for both sides. Wolves, one of the most informed teams in recent weeks and months, go against a relegation candidate, I guess you'd say, in Burnley, who will be looking to take advantage of both Norwich and Newcastle playing each other in this round of Premier League fixtures. On paper, Wolves should win. Wolves definitely should win this game on paper, but never count out Burnley's physicality or their set-piece threat. Having said that, I am going to go for a Wolves win here, and I'm going to say that Wolves win this game 2-1 come the final whistle. Next up, we're at Villa Park. It's Steven Gerrard against Pep Guardiola, and it's Aston Villa against Manchester City. Villa are unbeaten under Steven Gerrard so far during his reign in charge of the club, following a 2-1 victory over Crystal Palace on Saturday, while City were victorious last time out when they beat West Ham on the Sunday. The biggest test in Steven Gerrard's managerial career to date comes early in his reign as the Aston Villa manager. It's going to be very intriguing. It's going to be a very exciting battle ahead. One I'm sure that he cannot wait for to get his teeth stuck into. As far as a prediction goes, as much as my heart really wants to say that Gerrard wins this game and finds a way to beat Pep Guardiola and get a good result against Manchester City, even a draw will do. And maybe with the games coming thick and fast, maybe you can see that maybe levelling out the playing field a little bit and maybe helping Villa out. It's difficult to go against City in this game, and that's why I'm going to go for a 2-1 victory to Pep Guardiola's side. Jumping ahead now to Thursday's games, and first up we've got Tottenham taking on Brentford. It's been a while since Spurs were last in Premier League action following their game against Burnley on Sunday being postponed, but they will of course want to bounce back from that very bad Europa Conference League disaster. Obviously that took place last Thursday, whilst Brentford were victorious last time out against Everton, with the Bees winning 1-0 thanks to an Ivan Toney penalty. Intriguing game this one, yet another intriguing game in this round of Premier League fixtures. The Tottenham side still trying to come to terms with the management of Antonio Conte, come up against a Brentford side who have been dealt a huge reality check in recent weeks as to how difficult life can be in the Premier League, but maybe that 1-0 victory against Everton might be the bit that fires them up, so to speak, that reignites the match of Brentford's season, so to speak. A draw could certainly be possible. A draw could certainly be possible here. You've also got to consider that Brentford were in action on Sunday. Tottenham haven't been in action in just under a couple of weeks now. Does that give Tottenham maybe the slight edge? Does that even give Brentford maybe the slight edge as we get into this busy period of the season? It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I personally think that, whilst, like I say, a draw could be possible, I'm going to give the edge to Antonio Conte's side and say that Tottenham come out as 2-1 winners here, simply because I think their attack may be a little bit too much for Brentford to handle. And in our penultimate game, it is Manchester United clashing with Arsenal at Old Trafford. Last time out, United gained a point against Chelsea, of course, in that 1-1 draw on Sunday, whilst Arsenal got back to winning ways with a 2-0 victory over Newcastle. Under any normal circumstances, this game would be the highlight and the main event of this round of Premier League fixtures. However, I do believe that there is a more intriguing game worthy of taking that spot. You've also got to consider that for United, this will be, or should be, at the time of recording, it isn't completely confirmed yet, but it should be confirmed by the time that obviously this game comes around. A new era begins for them as Ralf Rangnick takes charge, or should take charge of his first game. If not this game, then it will definitely be the next game, of course. I don't know if they'll get it all over the line in time or whatever it may be. He should be appointed interim manager. Of course, it hasn't happened at the time of recording, like I say. But if that is the case, it does make this prediction a little bit more harder to state due to that obviously new manager element, the slight unknown entity, I guess you'd say. But so, with that being said, I'm going to call it down the middle. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw in this game. And finally, in what I believe to be the main event and the biggest game of this round of fixtures, it is, of course, the Merseyside derby. Everton in the blue corner, Liverpool in the red corner. And we're at Goodison Park on Wednesday night for this big Merseyside derby as Rafa Benitez returns to face his former club of the Reds. The Toffees are without a win in their last 7 league games now, following their latest result, which was a 1-0 defeat to Brentford on Sunday, whilst Liverpool are in frightening attacking form right now after racking up back-to-back 4-0 victories in the past couple of games, with their latest victims being Southampton on Saturday. Everton are struggling right now. Simply put, they're struggling right now. They are hit with big and key injuries. Their goals have somewhat dried up in recent weeks, and of course, with having a former Liverpool manager in the hot seat, I can't imagine he's got too much credit in the bank to be allowed even more time to try and turn things around. And a bad result here, and even worse, a bad performance here against a free-scoring Liverpool side who are in red-hot form right now in front of goal and are in hot pursuit of both Manchester City and Chelsea, might put Rafa further in the danger zone of being sacked by the Everton supporters. But if I can play Derby Day Bingo for a second, it's a derby, almost like a cup final. Form goes out the window. It's about who wants it more. It's not just about 3 points. It's also about bragging rights. Full house, bingo. Don't discount Everton before a ball is even kicked. Of course, Derby Day games can obviously inspire and ignite teams despite the form that they're going into. And obviously Liverpool could take them for granted. Maybe the stars align and Everton might get a decent result here. Who knows? Worst Everton teams have gone against Liverpool in the past and managed to take something from this game. So don't discount Everton. Benitez also has the potential to set up his team to frustrate the Reds and also walk out with at least a point perhaps. It's entirely possible. Do I expect them to do it? No, but it's always worth considering. My prediction is I'm going with my team as I always do. I'm going to back them. I'm going with a safe bet of a Liverpool win, and I'm going to say that the Reds walk out of Goodison Park with a 3-1 victory, 3 points and bragging rights. But of course, as I always say, these are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, whatever you want to call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys think. What do you make of any of the games that are upcoming in this round of Premier League fixtures? I want to know your thoughts, your comments, opinions, and of course, most of all, your predictions on any of the games that are coming up in this midweek run of Premier League fixtures. Also, again, fantasy football managers, who do you see having a good week? Who do you see having a bad week? Who are you putting into your teams this week? Who are you taking out of your teams this week? I'd love to know your thoughts, comments, opinions and predictions on that as well in the comments section. But most of all, of course, your predictions on the upcoming round of fixtures in the comments section, because I'm sure they'll all make for interesting reading. Otherwise, hit that like button on the way up if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you're new or want to see more content like this. Both things are always and forever be greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. I've been Fletch. This has been another Premier League prediction show. And I will see and speak with you all again soon in another video.